TPMNation.com.
So I shared something out earlier that, it was a political satire article that apparently triggered someone on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And let me first explain what it is. So it's from the NewYorker.com. And, or not the NewYorker.com, but simply NewYorker.com, but it's the website for the magazine, The New Yorker. And the title of the article is Pence Calls Space Force Necessary to Protect U.S. from Gay Aliens. Oh, hello to Carol Becker, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Is this show on YouTube, she's asking? No, with the current setup, we just go to Facebook. It'll get posted on YouTube later, but we just go live to Facebook, because trying to interact with people online during the show on both Facebook and YouTube is that would be a bit arduous. I'm never sure with the pronunciation of that word. Is it arduous or arduous? I've heard it pronounced both ways. I like to throw that little J in there. So waving to Kyle Heavey, I just saw in the hallway. Kyle Heavey, of course, from Off the Mark Sports, which you can now hear Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Oh, hello, Kyle. Let me turn that on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I didn't know if I should say hi or not, since I hadn't even sat down yet. But what's going on in the good world here? Well,
so Kyle, do you enjoy political humor, political satire?
I mean, you have to this day and age.
Yes, I agree.
If you don't, you're really just hurting yourself.
I agree. Well, let me share something with you that I shared this out earlier. It's from something called the Borovitz report.
Oh, I saw you shared that.
You saw this,
My
yes.
gosh.
So the title is, and it's short, and it's from NewYorker.com. Pence calls Space Force necessary to protect U.S. from gay aliens. And I'll read this. It's Dateline Washington. Making a major announcement at the Pentagon on Thursday, Vice President Mike Pence said that the proposed United States Space Force was necessary to defend the U.S. from gay aliens. Pence told the military gathering, quote, I stand before you today to say that this country is under attack from outer space gays. Only Space Force can protect us from their unimaginable evil, unquote. Pence detailed a nightmare scenario in which, quote, gay aliens by the thousands, unquote, land in the U.S. in, quote, seemingly cute spacecraft and subvert life in America as we know it. Let's say, for example, that these gay aliens can assume human form. What's to stop them from infiltrating normal bakeries and baking cakes for gay weddings? I'll tell you what's to stop them, he said, pausing for dramatic effect. Space Force. At the White House, CNN's Jim Acosta asked the press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, how exactly Pence had developed his theory about the existence of gay aliens. Sanders snapped, no one is more qualified to talk about life on other planets than Mike Pence, unquote.
Right.
So I thought that was a fun story. And now I think it's reasonable, Kyle, to when you see something like that, one would assume that that's parody, if you will. It's a political satire. It's not real.
It's not real, for sure.
It's humor, because some of us love to laugh.
I appreciate what The Onion has been done over the years.
Yes, The Onion, and this is even better than The Onion. Well, but not everyone enjoys that type of humor, apparently, and I triggered one of my listeners with that, but we have a call. Who knows? This could be him calling.
Is this Mike Pence?
Well, that would be very exciting. The vice president? Wow. Is this Mike Pence? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, who's this?
Hey, how's it going? This is Tony.
Tony, how are you, sir?
Good, how are you? Well, I believe that there is some truth to that story.
Oh, my goodness. What do you know? Are they already among us?
Well, I think it was last week. The guy was named Jussie or something like that. Jussie Smollett. He's a gay alien, isn't he?
Oh, Jussie Smollett is whom you're talking about.
Yeah.
My understanding, Tony...
Yeah, wasn't he a gay alien that accused somebody of beating him up?
A fake story, a staged attack, if you will.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, my understanding of that, and Kyle, if you know anything about this, feel free to weigh in. But my understanding is he is gay. Tony's Jussie Smollett rather is gay. But I have not read anywhere that he is actually an alien. I believe he is from Earth.
Oh, only aliens think of that stuff. Only aliens think of somebody from a different race.
Wait a minute, Tony.
Using somebody from a different race. Jumping them. I mean, that's only alien stuff. You got to be out of this world to think.
Ooh, out of this world. I like that. Tony, I have to ask you a question, though. Why is it that you seem to know so much about these aliens and how they think?
What are you doing with your spare time, Tony?
Yeah. You know what? I don't know.
You know,
I don't know. I just got a funny feeling.
Tony,
you can walk in somewhere and you can sense there's something strange about somebody.
Yes.
It's called the sixth sense.
Oh, yeah. Tony, have you been abducted? Have you been abducted and probed? I have experienced that. Yes. Yeah. But I didn't want to believe it was anything nefarious.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, the Space Force. Space Force is awesome. So, you know what I mean? I think you should join it.
You think I should join the Space Force? The thing is, Tony...
I think you should join it. Why don't we join it together?
That would be very exciting. But I have to tell you, though, even to just be a lowly astronaut... let alone be part of the Space Force, I think you have to be very good at math and science, and I must tell you, those are things I am terrible at. I don't think I'm qualified.
Listen, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about this. Ship knows where to go.
Well, that would be wonderful. I'd like to be able to just tell it, like, kind of like Alexa. You just say, Alexa, take me to Venus, and then off we go. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, but I wonder what's going to happen with this case, because they charged him with a disorderly conduct, which is a very weak crime.
Right.
I thought beating up on homosexuals or whatever it is, is a hate crime, isn't it?
Well, yes, but he's being charged with. But isn't he being charged with making a false report?
Yeah, that's correct too. $100,000 bail they just announced for him.
Wow!
Wasn't it a fake? It wasn't a false report.
No, he apparently
of a hate crime.
Right. He made a false report of a hate crime. Okay. Yeah.
$3,500 he spent on this alleged hit on him to kind of try to keep his his character on the show Empire.
Wow.
$3,500, and now he's got $100,000 bail on his head right now from the judge in Chicago. This afternoon.
I hope he spends at least 3 to 5 years in prison, and then when he goes to prison, he's going to find out that they don't do fake assaults in there. I'll tell you that. It's very real.
He'd be better off being abducted and probed by aliens at that point.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then he could call for the Space Force. But that won't exist for another 5 or 10 years.
That's 5 or 10 years. Oh, my goodness. Tony, you really... I was excited about joining. You just kind of threw some cold water on it.
Hey, it happens. But, hey, always good to talk to you, and take care.
All right, Tony. Thank you so much for the call. All right, that was Tony, who Tony has called the show before, but he doesn't call very often. He's not one of our regulars, shall we say?
I mean, thinking about this, was E.T. gay?
E.T.?
E.T. You know?
Well, that light up finger seemed a little.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I've been thinking about all sorts of alien movies and stuff like that, and trying to get an idea of just possible. All the aliens seem to go after the guys. The girls seem to survive pretty well, but you're right. When E.T. at the end of the movie, with like his finger lights up and he tells what's her name, Drew Barrymore, he says, "Be good." Yes, I think that might have been code for "be gay." Because Hollywood, Kyle. They're trying to turn. Spielberg was always ahead of the game in some way or another. Trying to turn everyone gay. That's the whole point of Hollywood, really. And all these movies are gay. Yeah, so they all have secret messages. So after the Empire star there now faces a felony charge for alleged fake hate crime arrested. So oh my goodness, this has been, and he has to surrender his passport. So he cannot leave the country. He needs to find $100,000. Hopefully he has that. Hopefully he doesn't. I'm not sure how to feel on this. I mean, it's I know how I feel about it. John Fitzgerald Like Jr. He appeared in front of the court in just an hour and 4 minutes ago. So this is all pretty new. He was stone faced. He says someone that was in the courtroom, and he gave his brothers $100 to buy supplies, according to text. So it's, he really did get beat up. I mean, it's kind of a tough thing when you.
Well, yeah, but
hey, buddy,
if you hire someone to beat you up, that's a little. I mean, some people do that as a fetish, I'm sure. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's Jerry. What's the topic today?
Well, Jerry,
we're interweaving right now.
Yeah, I do a lot of interweaving. If you're new to the show, Jerry, I keep it kind of loose and freewheeling. Footloose and fancy free, as they say. Although I don't think anyone even so much as one day younger than me has ever used that phrase. So I could be wrong.
We're talking about a Mike Pence and his feel for the Space Force in trying to make sure that gay aliens do not come to the world. And then we're also talking about the Empire star. How do you say his first name?
Jussie
Smollett, who is just he was arraigned in a Chicago court for his fake hate crime incident. So that's what's going on here on the Matt Connarton show.
Any thoughts, Jerry, on Jussie Smollett or gay aliens and gay aliens?
Sorry, I meant what's the special? I'm feeling beef, maybe.
Oh, I love it.
He's feeling beef. Wow.
Where's the beef?
Well, Jerry.
Get a call screener, you idiot.
All right, Jerry. Hey, man, that wasn't bad. All right, we have to divulge and diverse a little bit here. Oh, by the way, Ryan Gorman in the Facebook live chat says E.T. was genderless. All right, now this guy Jerry, if that is his real name, I was Jerry. If you're still listening, I know who that was, sort of, because he's called the show before in the past. He likes to do these prank calls. Now, that wasn't bad, though, because he didn't swear this time, so I didn't have to hit the dump button and hang up on him. And that was actually sort of clever. That made us laugh. So, Jerry, I'm warming up to you a little bit. If you want to call and do that kind of thing, the beef thing, that was funny. That was genuinely funny. I like that. Jerry, I like your beef thing there. Please don't take that wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not always the most you don't have to necessarily be articulate to be on the radio, but you know what I'm saying. That actually wasn't bad. See, before, he would just call up and start swearing.
Oh, boy.
And there's no point to that.
Thank you, Jerry. Maybe I scared him off a little bit by having a different voice talking to him.
Maybe. You've got that deep, authoritative voice. But there's no point to call and swear because we're on a delay.
That's true.
So we just hit the dump button and it just wipes that out anyway. And so there's no point. So I made fun of him for doing that because that's not very creative. And then I made a comment about the other thing I hate is when people call, if someone does a prank call and they start ordering food. Because that joke is older than my dead grandmother, right?
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
I would just go with it if someone does that on Sunday mornings. Like, oh, what would you like to?
Yeah. You're more patient than I am for that particular brand of tomfoolery.
It's my 9 years of serving skills that I have still in my body, too.
There you go. Well, that makes sense. But if someone's actually clever and puts some thought into it.
Plus, no one's ordering pizza at 10 in the morning,
Well, that's true, too, yeah. Well, they shouldn't be. Well, actually, I think pizza's good anytime. But at 10 in the morning, they should have some left over from the night before, ideally. But if someone calls, because I'm not your typical talk show host in this way. If someone calls and it's a prank call, but they actually put some thought into it and they're actually a little bit clever with it, I'll often roll with it and try to turn it into a bit or something and have some fun. Like, I'm not like, this isn't NPR.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
I'm not freaked out by a prank. I like the creativity. That particular call, Jerry, I don't think that's his real name, but I knew who he was when he said, hey, you got to actually, I knew who he was when he mentioned the beef.
Okay.
Because he knows that's my other pet peeve, other than the swearing, is the ordering food. But this time, he kind of segued into the food thing, and it was kind of clever, and it made us laugh. So,
yes. Jerry,
I'm warming up to you a little bit. I don't know how you feel about that, but, call anytime with beef if you want. That sounds strange the way I said that, but you know what I mean.
With Glenn's shows going on live right now upstairs,
I
mean, we always need some beefing on a Thursday night.
Yes. Well, Glenn, he had beef. He had beef with MC Hammer.
I mean,
remember that?
I had to laugh as I was looking at.
They all was beefing.
iTunes has right now the classic hip hop albums for $5.99 or less. and that includes the best of MC Hammer.
Oh,
you can get the whole entire album for $5.99. So yes, you came to mind the other night when I was looking at possibly picking up some good old hip hop tunes here.
Yes. Let's see. We do have some. I see. Wow, there's a lot of people in the Facebook Live
Hello,
chat today.
everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for taking a listen.
Let's see. Ed Murphy says, I think Ryan Gorman should call in. Far more than likely would believe this story. So Ryan Gorman is in there as well. Ricky Litwinkowicz is in there. Hello, Ricky. Let's see. Ricky. Oh, yeah. Gorman would be into the alien story. Yes, he probably. I see Perry M. Durant, who says, hello, Carol. Love beef. Carol says, hello, Perry. Welcome to the viewing party. All right. So, Perry. Oh, was that who just called? Maybe I misunderstood, and his name is Perry, not Jerry. But I thought he said Jerry.
I heard Jerry, too, but
maybe he did say Jerry because Jerry rhymes with Perry.
Ooh.
That could be a clue, a crumb, if you will, to further the food. He left a little crumb there for us to figure out who he is.
Boy, this is detective work here. We're going to have to really dial our senses back and get to the bottom of what's going on here.
Now, I'm starting to get a headache. All this thinking, I don't even want to. I don't like getting to the bottom of things.
It does help that through this doorway here, we do have some an office being painted, so we're getting some of the fumes from the paint in there.
Paint fumes, yes.
Paint fumes are. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling lightheaded.
My goodness!
It's a good time on the show today.
Yes, Carol Becker says beef is an underrated food, and it's what's for dinner. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, it's Jerry calling back.
Hello, Jerry.
Well, look at that.
Jerry.
Well, I heard you were saying such a nice thing, and I was like, oh, this is great. They loved my beef.
I knew that was going to happen. I had a feeling you were good on the
Jerry.
Jerry. Oh.
That's not good. And there's no point to that. Nobody hears it, Jerry.
No.
I hit the dump button because we're on a delay, and then it's gone.
So, joke's on you, Jerry. You can be laughing and giggling all you want.
No. I was starting to like Jerry. Yeah. I dare say, I felt like Jerry and we were kind of building a rapport. You know what I mean? We were kind of, getting to be buds, I was going to invite Jerry to go fishing, and I don't even fish. I find it painfully boring, but I was going to make an exception for Jerry. See if he wants to maybe go try to catch some beef.
Well, he seems to be a worm, so.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Can you even catch beef? That's how little I know about fishing. Or is it only for fish?
I think it's just only for fish.
No.
Yeah.
When I was a wee lad.
Don't forget to get your license, because that's like
that's right. You need a license for that.
You need a license.
I'm somewhat of a libertarian.
The $20 license is going to save you the $200 fine or whatever it is.
Oh, $200 fine.
I haven't watched Northwood's Law in a little bit, but yeah, I know that they charged you with having a fishing license.
Northwood's Law, is that it's a reality show based in New Hampshire?
Yeah, it's
I think I know someone
who the fishing game and how they go around and arresting different people and helping to search for lost hikers and people in the wild, and they're also the first. If say there's a missing body in a river, they're the first ones to be searching for the body and stuff like that. So they do a phenomenal job throughout the state, from hunting licenses, fishing licenses, and they just had to go find a body on Mount Washington that he went up there hiking this weekend. He was moderately easy hike, but Mount Washington this time of year, you get an avalanche or something like that. You never know what that snow is going to be like when you're trying to climb up, a pretty vertical feeling. So he was a neuroscientist from Somerville, Mass, or something like that, or Charlestown, Mass.
I saw something about
3-year-old son, and unfortunately he was not able to make it. And Mount Washington takes another good person.
Well, that's what did they say in the theme song for the Dukes of Hazzard?
And he just died too.
Someday the mountain might get him, but the law never will. Somebody from the Dukes of Hazzard just died?
Maybe it wasn't the Dukes of Hazzard, or maybe it was the. Hold on, he just died yesterday. So.
I hope it wasn't one of the Duke boys.
Let me find entertainment. Sorry, Matt. I know I'm kind of leaving you hanging here, but
Peter Tork just died from the Monkees.
I saw that today too.
Yes,
it's just it's a tough couple days here.
All these people die. You know what it is? It's like people get old and they die. I've always said that's the problem with life. No one gets out alive.
No one does. I mean, we're all going to end up in a box or as dust. So it's just the way it is. Enjoy your life while you can, and do what you can. God, I'm still looking. So we're gonna. And we as soon as I find it, I will be more than happy to tell you, because I thought it was someone that you would definitely recognize.
Oh my goodness. And we don't even know, like, at any moment an asteroid could hit the Earth and we could all be dead. Can you imagine?
Well, I'll give credit. We have a lot of satellites up there that can kind of see pretty far out there that they would know something's coming, because anytime something's within like 100 million miles, they're like, oh, just missing us is an asteroid that could have destroyed the planet.
That makes me feel better. Plus, when Tony and I join the Space Force, we can go out there and, like, shoot asteroids with lasers and stuff, like pew, pew, pew. I think that's the sound a laser makes. I saw that once on some science show.
It makes sense.
Yes. Pew, pew. Ed Murphy in the Facebook live chat says, Jerry does sound kind of old for swear pranks, just saying. He does. I mean, I when he does that kind of thing, he sounds like he's like 13 or something to me, but I don't know.
It's just the way that he does it, I guess.
Perry M. Durant, who I still think could be Jerry, says, no, I think you can get beef from fishing. Oh, yeah. If maybe it's a contaminated waterway or something. Carol Becker says, I have been known to use beef for bait. Sometimes the walleye really crave a beef snack. My goodness. I don't even know what all this means. I'm so ignorant about fishing. Oh, I was starting to say before, when I was a kid, my Uncle Jimmy took me fishing once. And I'm not sure that I've ever been so bored up to that point or at any moment since. It's like just sitting there waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, it really is just, I only do it very occasionally. I enjoy catching the buzz of drinking more than I do the fish.
Ah.
You know, that's the other way you got to look at it.
Right.
I do have some friends that are phenomenal fishermen, and they spend their time doing it. I just have other hobbies, and that's where it's at. Where if you have something else in mind, then you're going to go and do that. Just like they have a hobby of fishing.
Right.
And can't go wrong with that.
Hello to Nick Stenkamp in the Facebook live chat, as well as Steve Pascucci. Very busy show today. They must have heard we were talking about beef. Beefing on a Thursday. I'm very particular about beef. You know what I think is disgusting, is the most vile food on the planet is corned beef. Corned beef? Corned beef and hash. It's the texture of it. It's like meat that's already been chewed. It's horrifying.
No, I'm not a big, I'll have it maybe here and there, but it's not. I don't go out of my way to be like, yes, I want to have that.
Yeah, good for you. You should reject it at every opportunity. It's like it's Satan's food or something. It's like I just imagine if there really is a Satan, like he's in hell eating a big plate of corned beef and just enjoying being evil.
Bet he eats a lot of things up there, or down there.
Down there, yes. I think hell is like at the center of the earth or something.
It is very warm down there, so yes, I could definitely agree with that.
There you go. I don't even like the smell of it. It's horrifying to me, and I should like it. I'm Irish, but no, I believe it is Satan's food.
No. Every time I eat hash now, I'm going to be thinking of Satan. It's going to be a good, interesting time.
That's right. Yes. Did you figure out who died?
No, I'm still looking for this. I'm looking at all the different sites, and I don't remember if it was from the Dukes of Hazzard or if it was from Smokey and the Bandit. That's where it's bothering me that I can't remember who just passed away. But I remember seeing it just recently that someone died. So.
Yes. Carol Becker in the Facebook live chat says, Basketball Diaries, a great film. I don't get the reference, Carol, but...
maybe that's where Josie was first in? Jussie?
Oh, Jussie. Oh, maybe.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to assume. Basketball Diaries. Let's see the cast.
Nick says, I don't think you have had good corned beef. Nick, there is no good corned beef. I don't know what you people are eating down in Florida, but it is disgusting under any circumstances. How dare you? I will not even go near it. I don't even like thinking about it. I'm already wishing I hadn't even thought of it.
I mean... Sometimes I had to eat gluten-free bread earlier this afternoon, and I, wasn't a big fan of that, but I still ate it because someone had to. I'm one of those people that I don't like to let food go to waste, so I took it down, and It was not, the texture was just much difficult. Much more. I understand if you have to eat it, then it's a great substitution. But for me, being that I don't have to substitute it, I just was like, what am I doing? Why am I,
Are you gluten intolerant?
No. I had to go do an event today, and I just felt bad that no one was eating that sandwich. So I was like, you know what? I'll take it down for everyone else, and you can all have that. So, I took one for the team today, and it was a tough one, but it's okay. I'm through it. It's digesting.
Oh, good. I don't have any particular strong feelings about it, but I do think it's fun to say gluten.
Gluten.
It's a fun word.
I've had the gluten-free beer. I had a girlfriend that was gluten-free, she had to deal with all that stuff. So that's why I have tried a lot of different things, but until that time happens, I'm all set with trying to eat that. So
yes.
If anyone out there has any ideas on, good gluten-free stuff, let us know. I would be interested to hear other people's thoughts and opinions.
Do they have gluten-free corned beef? I hope not. That would be horrifying.
Still looking here.
Peter White from the Morning Show with Peter White joins us in the Facebook live chat. Let's see. Steve Pascucci says Peter Tork's gone. Yes, yes, indeed.
The Monkees, man.
Yes.
It's just a...
Daydream Believer is a great song. Let's see. Oh, Nick says... Oh, no, I read that already. I don't think you've had good corned beef. Oh, Steve Pascucci says he was from the Monkees. I know you're too young to remember. Who's too young? Must be somebody in the Facebook live chat. We both obviously know who he is. Perry M. Durant says, confused by the caller. Is this a radio show or a restaurant?
Thank you.
Well, yeah. Well, the irony of that being we're not even allowed to have food and beverages in here.
No.
So we couldn't make it a restaurant even if we wanted to.
There's no way that you could be like, oh, yes, come try the WMNH cafe today.
Right.
I mean, unless we have a food show. I don't know how that would work, but we have a lot of buttons and a lot of cords and wires that we don't need to get sticky or food problems. And this mice, there's a lot of things.
There's mice?
Well, I'm just saying if we left food around.
Oh, right. I was going to say, please don't tell me there's mice in here. That would freak me out.
No, from now, I think we're good. But
I mean, we have computer mice.
Yeah, nice connection there, Matt.
But I've never been sure if it's a computer mouse, do you still call the plural mice or do you call it mouses?
Because we have multiple mouses. So is it multiple mices in here? That's a great question.
Nick says, I worked at a restaurant that offered gluten-free limited menu. 1 in 100 actually is gluten-free intolerant. Turns out everybody that came in my restaurant was 1 in a 100. Yes, well, it's all the rage, the gluten-free. But we have to be very careful because who's that? There's that comedian. I forget his name now. I can picture him. He was on that show, King of Queens.
Yeah.
You know who I mean?
Yes.
Kevin James.
I knew
it would come to me. So I saw, this was a year, maybe 2 years ago. Kevin James had this stand-up special on Hulu or Netflix, one of those, and Jenny and I watched it. Jenny fell asleep, and I don't think I watched the whole thing. It was the most inoffensive, just innocuous, bland sort of comedy imaginable. But there's a point where he does this bit about people who are lactose intolerant, and I looked online because I had a feeling, because we live in these politically correct times. You can't joke about anything.
No, it's definitely a difficult time to, we're talking about gluten, and someone might take that offense.
Right. Well, sure enough, there were people online. There was even an organization that advocates for, no BS, that advocates for lactose intolerant people who were very upset with Kevin James and for being insensitive to lactose intolerant people and demanding that Hulu or Netflix or whoever it was that carried the special, that they pull it down immediately or edit it or something because it was very offensive.
It's just, to be a comedian these days, it has to be a very difficult thing. Like,
oh, yeah.
What can you joke about?
What a minefield.
What is going to be like, yes, you can say this, because some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, some people are going to be like, oh, man.
Right.
So I've had to sit through a couple comedic shows where I'm just like, oof, this guy is definitely failing right now because no one's laughing at his jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit into a room with 600 people, or, because I've been to a couple at the former Radisson, now the DoubleTree Hotel here on Elm Street, and it's just like, oh, this guy is definitely going to be walking off the stage with his head hanging low.
Right. Perry in the Facebook live chat mentioned Paul Blart. Blue Lives Matter. Yes, yes.
I mean, that was filmed right in Massachusetts, so that was I want to say it was the Maple Tree Mall or something like that. I think that's actually Manchester, but yes, I know it's filmed in Massachusetts. The Paul Blart Mall Cop was. So that's why I was. I definitely appreciate Massachusetts movies one way or another.
Well, that's good.
There's been very few New Hampshire ones as of late, that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's one way we can get some taxes here in the States. Bring some movies here to get some interest for people to come visit.
You got Jumanji and what else, really? On Golden Pond.
What about Bob?
What about Bob wasn't filmed here?
Oh, wasn't?
No. Isn't this disappointing? I only learned this a couple of years ago.
Man.
It was set here.
Yes, that's why I thought that.
Yeah, it's set on Lake Winnipesaukee, but it wasn't actually filmed here.
They did a good job.
Don't you feel kind of cheated?
I'm hurt right now.
Yeah. Nick says, no, you can't joke about anything. I can, LOL. Well, fine. I don't think that's fair, but Carol says lactose and tolerant. Get it? Lactose? Like bread toast? Yes, yes. Then she says, King of Queens is a great show. I once dated someone, and I won't say her name because she's kind of Manch famous, one would say. She used to work in radio. But she used to refer to King of Queens as fat guy, hot chick.
Yeah, I mean... It was what the show was based around in some way or another.
Yes, that was her nickname for the show. Of course, you couldn't say that now. This was like 2004. Now it'd be, it's fat shaming, and I don't know if in the Me Too era you can call someone hot. So it's just a very un-PC sort of nickname for that show.
King of Queens.
Yes,
we're just gonna stick to that, I guess. That's
yes.
all you can do.
Nick says it's hard to film in a place that is snow-covered half the year.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we've had a pretty mild winter. We haven't had much snow
I really
this year.
can't say that. Today was 34 degrees. You could just see all the snow that we got last night was melting.
Yes, yes.
So that's why we've definitely had worse ones. That one, 2014, 2015, that was a incredibly rough one.
That was brutal, yes.
I remember having 3 snowstorms in 1 week that each of them totaled like over a foot of snow. Because they had to move the New England Patriots parade a day further because we got a snowstorm. Then they were having issues in Boston because they had actually dumped the snow into the harbor. The harbor,
yeah.
Because they were running out of places to put the snow. It was pretty tough to park anytime you went down to Boston that winter. There was definitely what's usually a 4-way street was down to 2-way.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't park. It was just ugh.
It was brutal. But then the winter after that, we had that winter where we just didn't have winter.
Nothing.
That was amazing.
So I'd moved to Iowa that fall, and when I came back that winter, I went to go snowboarding. I'm like, what the heck is this?
There was nothing. Yeah, it's amazing.
I came back because I was excited to snowboard. I just remember riding up the chairlift, and this was like February, and I was like, I can see the woods. Like I can see the only place that was snow is on the trails itself, and it was not good snow. I mean, I won't say the place that I was at, but it just was not very good conditions that day. I definitely was looking forward to a better day.
Right. Absolutely. I'll kind of circle back to this. So I'd shared out this article, the article about the Space Force.
Yes.
The Mike Pence thing. And then a certain individual, and I won't say his name, even though you can see the whole exchange on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. But even though he's a listener, and even though he was interacting with me on Facebook, I still feel weird about saying his name if I don't know he's okay with it. So I'll just say his initials are RK, and it's someone who I met years ago.
Robert Kraft?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we'll go with Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft, yes. And it's I'd met Robert Kraft years ago. Seems like a nice guy, but he was very upset with me sharing out that article and saying, people are gonna, you shouldn't share things like this because people will take it seriously. and think that it's real and stuff. And I mean, and he's a big Trump guy. So anything that is in any way negative toward Trump is, Gorman says, I saw that, Matt. Totally ridiculous. He didn't get that. And actually, the way that I met Robert Kraft was through Ryan Gorman and Peter White back when they used to do their show, Amsterdam. So, no, and I have nothing, even though Robert Kraft did hurl a personal insult at me, because that's what people on Facebook do when they disagree. They insult each other.
Unreal, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just look at a picture of you like, oh, cool. That's all they do these days is just pick on something like, oh, I bet you can't do that, huh?
Right. But he, he got very upset and defensive about, here's what, actually, I'll read exactly what he said. He said, seriously, this was never said. To which I said, yeah, dude, it's satire. That's why I said it's even better than The Onion, because that's what I said when I shared it out, making it clear that it's satire. And he said, problem I have with this is the Trump haters, such as yourself, will only read the headline and either speak it as fact or repost it. Either benefits no one, and it's a vast problem. I think he meant neither benefits no one, and it's a vast problem with today's political environment. So he's all butthurt because it's something about Mike Pence, who's the VP of his hero, Donald John Trump, right? So I said, didn't know political satire was so offensive to you, Robert Kraft. Jeepers. I said, I'm not an idiot, meaning I understood it was satire, although if it was true, he would kind of have a point. I mean, I've always been pro-gay rights, pro-marriage equality, etc., but I suppose a line has to be drawn somewhere. What if these gay aliens start recruiting straight humans to become gay aliens? It is something to consider.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yes. So then Robert Kraft, if that is his real name, says, it's the precedence that it sets. Once again, you did not read what I wrote. So in other words, people engaging in political satire sets a bad precedent.
Sometimes it's difficult to try to read what I mean, they weren't getting it that you were being, sarcastic. You're trying to write back and
it's the article that's but he's just mad because it's about someone he loves, So so then I said, by the way, I sometimes make jokes on my show about Hillary Clinton trying to run again in 2020 as the fresh new face of the Democratic Party, or that Bernie Sanders is 92 years old. I'm sure those types of jokes are also terribly... Now I was being sarcastic. I said, I'm sure those types of jokes are also terribly upsetting to you, right? Those are also political jokes someone could hear and be dumb enough to believe. I'm sure making jokes about anyone on the left is just as upsetting, right? He never did answer that specifically. But then I also said, by the way, Robert Kraft, it literally says in the graphic, the Borowitz report, not the news. If people can't figure that out, all I can say is that hopefully they don't breed. So then he responded, most folks don't understand this. WTF, did you not understand about that? He's getting really upset. Satire is passed as facts numerous times a day because asshats like you think you're witty and posting such stuff, but are actually ingraining political discourse. I don't even know what that sentence meant. Most folks are, I feel terrible about ingraining political discourse, I guess. That's a bad, to anyone who's upset that I've ingrained political discourse, forgive me. Most folks are very, very uneducated and grasp whatever fits their narrative. Boy, that's a pot kettle black moment. You're not acknowledging that. Enough said. So, I said, I'm sorry. And then he said more. He said, they don't. Headline producers are a multi-million-dollar industry now. People over 70% of the time never read the article. Most don't know the difference between an opinion or a sourced article. Haha. You just don't get how absolutely ignorant society has become in general, which is funny because, yeah, I do. So then I said, and this was in response to the asshat comment, I said, and there it is, the inevitable personal insult. I'm an asshat. Clever. Well, we agree on one thing. Most folks are very, very uneducated. And yes, people are ignorant. But I'm smart, I enjoy humor, and I enjoy sharing a laugh with others. Shrug. So, that was the extent.
Is an asshat considered a butthead?
I think they mean similar things, yes.
Okay.
And by the way, so the thing is that's one of the reasons why I generally avoid getting into any kind of political discussion on Facebook. I usually share it all. I usually save it all for the show, because on Facebook, people, that's what people do. They insult each other. They hurl personal insults at each other for no other reason than they disagree on something. Because notice I never once insulted him.
No, not at all.
But it was inevitable. I knew at some point he was going to insult me, because that's just what people do. Because that's how people argue about politics on Facebook. And it's, it's really discouraging. And then I shared out something from The Onion about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, here we go.
I shared this out. Hillary launches campaign to raise $100 million or else she'll run for president. So I shared that out, and I said this. I said, this was directed at our friend Robert Kraft. I said, here's some more political satire to upset you, Robert Kraft. Something tells me you won't be as bothered by this one. Can't quite put my finger on why that is, though.
Any response?
No, he didn't respond to that. No. And I said in parentheses, I also said, personally, I think this article is even funnier and more clever than the one about Pence. I'm an independent, so I don't get too butthurt about any of this, which is true. I love all political satire. It can be about someone I like, somebody I don't like, someone I kind of like, someone I kind of don't like. It doesn't matter to me. If it's funny, it's funny.
And, everyone has an opinion one way or another. So it's just having to be able to have a conversation about it and, express the differences. You don't have to hurl, some sort of mean comment back saying, we're humans, because you don't like what I say, I'm a terrible person.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good way to deal with getting society right these days,
Yeah. But that's what people do. Oh, hello to Brian Brody, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Brian.
Brian.
Gorman says the word asshat is literally the stupidest insult. When someone says asshat, I pretty much know everything I need to know about you, starting with number 1, you suck.
Well,
that's
how I always look at it. You're just like, you're an idiot. That's as soon as I hear it, I'm like, you're probably not a smart person.
I'm a little surprised, though, because I was under the impression maybe they had a falling out at some point. I thought Ryan Gorman and Robert Kraft, I thought they were friends. But Ryan's being a little tough. Ryan's being a little even tougher on him than I am.
Oh, boys will be boys sometimes,
I just think Robert Kraft is a hypocrite, because I know that the satire, if I'd shared the Hillary Clinton satire out first, he wouldn't have had a problem with it at all. And liberals are guilty of the same stuff, by the way, to be fair. I've seen liberals get very upset about political satire about one of their heroes on the, like AOC.
Yes.
I've seen liberals get really upset if you share something out, like Ben Shapiro. I think at one point I shared out something he had posted that I thought was funny about AOC. And liberals get upset about that, and it's like, oh, okay, so it's one of your own. You're going to be all mad.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
That's
IPMNation.com.